Good morning, this is Rida Arjman with 360 News Weekly Review. Starting on with the business news. Cabinet will continue to work for Emiratis, says Mohammed bin Zayed. Sheikh Mohammed makes the remarks on Sunday while attending the sworn-in ceremony of the 12 new cabinet ministers at Mushrif Palace, Abu Dhabi. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan stresses the new cabinet will continue with unlimited ambition for the betterment of the President and future generations. The existing advantage of his solid development base of human resources and the nation founded by the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan. Under the leadership of President His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan will strengthen the new concepts of nation building. Sheikh Mohammed commends the great efforts extended by the government of the UAE and stresses that the new cabinet will work in line with the directives to tackle the threats and challenges of the citizens and transform them into beneficial opportunities. The new cabinet aims at making the country a role model for others in the field of youth and women empowerment, and will also bring happiness and prosperity to its people, as well as strengthen noble values. Sheikh Mohammed takes pride in stating the existence of a 22-year-old Minister of State for the first time in the history of the UAE. The Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi emphasizes on the importance of serving the country and the responsibility that comes along. Lastly, Sheikh Mohammed extends his thanks to the former ministers for their extremely valuable contributions. Next up, news from Abu Dhabi. New Abu Dhabi-Dubai road taking shape. A highway merging Abu Dhabi and Dubai with a 62-kilometer extension from Mohammed bin Zayed Road, which ends at Shoaib area at Abu Dhabi-Dubai border. Being built at a cost of 2.1 billion dirhams, it is set to be ready by the end of the next year. This is set in order to help motorists going to Sharjah and the Northern Emirates to avoid traffic on Mohammed bin Zayed Road in Dubai. It will also allow them a direct access to the eastern cities of Fujairah, Kalba and Khurfa Khan. In addition, exit to Abu Dhabi Al Ain Road, that is E22, to this point about 60% of the project is completed. Next, we have the UAE offers India free oil to ease storage woes. The UAE's Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, ADNOC, agrees to store crude oil in India's maiden strategic storage facility, sweetening the deal by saying India can take 2/3 of the oil for free. This a great deal for India, which is almost fully reliant on imports to meet its crude oil needs. India attempts Abu Dhabi with the building of a massive underground storage facility system that will be able to take on 5.33 million tons of crude as a bulwark against global price shocks and supply disruptions. ADNOC is eyeing half the storage capacity at one of the new underground facilities, Mangalore, which has a 1.5 million ton capacity on its own. Abu Dhabi plans to stock 0.75 million tons or 6 million barrels of oil here, and 0.5 million tons will belong to India. However, a number of analysts suggest that oil prices might crash to $20, even $10 a barrel, storage tanks become full. Next news, global shocks and the UAE credit cycle. Regarding the UAE business cycle, the global credit cycle has an immediate impact on the UAE via oil prices. The US dollar peg crosses border bank credit flows, Federal Reserve monetary policy, and world trade. The IMF cut its 2016 growth forecast to 2.6%, the lowest since 2010. The UAE business cycle cannot remain immune to the big chill in global capital markets. For instance, the 70% collapse in crude oil and the 30% rise in the US dollar index has led to a 40 to 60% correction in Emaar and UAE money center bank shares since mid-2014. Fortunately, the $400 billion UAE economy has reduced its dependence on oil and gas from 90% in the late 1970s to only 33% now. National Bank of Abu Dhabi, which is known as UAE's largest lender and flagship Abu Dhabi bank, is doubling its impatient charges as its fourth quarter profile 25%. Next news, Dubai private schools to increase fees by 3.2%. Knowledge and Human Development Authority reveals that the schools are rated by outstanding, and this can lift fees by double the amount. However, many parents have voiced dismay by saying their finances are already stretched by cost of living, as it's getting to a point where parents no longer are affordable to send their children to schools. They also add that schools don't consult them before raises of the fee tuitions. Education Cost Index motivates schools to improve their quality of education and helps to regulate inflation by adjusting the increase. However, the ECI is calculated after taking into account school opening costs, including teachers' salaries, rent, maintenance, and utility charges. Moving on to the crimes news for this week. A father sexually abusing his two daughters locked up by Dubai court. A recent shocking incident has been circling around Dubai. A 40-year-old Emirati father of two GGCS is accused and found guilty of sexually abusing both his daughters. His eldest, a 16-year-old, has been a victim for 2 years. MG states to the court that when she was trying to avoid her father, he was trying to molest her younger sister, ALG, aged 12. ALG tells the prosecutors that abuse would usually take place at home and sometimes in the car. She also claims that her father would film these incidents. Of course, the question of why did they not report this sooner comes to mind. The court was told that the girls were emotionally blackmailed into silence. They were told that if anyone was to know about the incident, the father would be sentenced to jail and the family would break. The abuse is discovered by GGG's wife and the girl's mother. She was using her husband's mobile when she finds the videos of the incident. She claimed that in the videos, he would undress their 12-year-old daughter and start to abuse her as the poor girl would scream for father to stop. The wife reports her husband to the Dubai Criminal Court after she unintentionally spots pictures and clips of her girls being molested. The Dubai Criminal Court has sentenced him to 9 months in prison. Next in crime, 4 UAE men are led to death for joining ISIS. 4 men are sentenced in absentia to death for joining ISIS and fighting with the terrorist group in Syria. The Federal Supreme Court reported on Sunday Abdulaziz Suad bin Abdulaziz Al-Najjar, 25, Muaz Abdulrahman Ibrahim Al-Harithi, 22, Saud Abdulaziz Awad Al-Minhali, 18, and Ahmed Ali Saif Al-Naqbi, 29, all Emiratis are found guilty of joining ISIS and fighting alongside members of the terrorist group in Syria, says the court presided over by Judge Muhammad Al-Jarrah Al-Tunaji. Another Emirati, Faris Muhammad Salim Al-Qatbi, 18, and a Bahraini, Abdul Rasul Al-Ain, are sentenced for 5 years in jail, while another Emirati is handed 3 years in jail. He has helped 3 other defendants to flee to Syria to join the group. Also 3 defendants, 2 Yemenis, Abdul Malik Ahmed, 40, and Abdul Muhammad Atiyah, 41, and an Omani, Ghulam Abdul Al-Balushi, 49, are sentenced to 10 years in jail for funding Yemen's Al-Houthi group and providing them with chemicals, communication equipment, and among other supplies. In a third case, an Emirati MMAF 43 is charged with setting up and running a Twitter account to promote the terrorist group Muslim Brotherhood, outlawed in the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. Prosecutors accuse the defendant of insulting the UAE and its leaders. Next, we have the sports news. For this week, Amjad Javed with the bat and the ball leads UAE cricket to T20 win over Scotland. UAE's current batting shortcomings is turning out to be a matter of concern for coach Aqib Javed ahead of their T20 Asia Cup qualifiers. To be held in Bangladesh this week, UAE loses the first of the 2 preparatory friendlies lined up against Ireland at Sheikh Zayed Stadium on Sunday by 34 runs. What followed after restricting the visitors to a modest total of 134 for 8 in 20 overs was a spineless batting display. Coach Javed expresses his concern about his batsmen, explaining that they have let down the team repeatedly. Taking charge of the team is 35-year-old veteran all-rounder Amjad Javed, who will be the skipper for the Asia Cup qualifiers in the T20 Asia Cup qualifiers. UAE will be meeting Afghanistan on February 19th before taking on Hong Kong on the 21st of February and Oman on the 22nd. Next, UAE's Rashid clinches President's Cup. Following up, Sheikh Rashid Al Mouk Juma Al Makhtoom emerges victorious, edging out Indian rider Madhu Singh on Mustafa to win the prestigious 160-kilometer His Highness the President of the UAE Endurance Cup at the Emirates International Endurance Village in Al Wattaba on Saturday. In an exhausting ride that attracted 119 riders and horses from all over the world, Sheikh Rashid and Madhu Singh are involved in a two-way battle for supremacy, and the UAE rider came up on top to win with a little over a minute to spare after the 160-kilometer ride. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Crown Prince of Dubai, and Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Presidential Affairs, along with many other VIP guests, attends the race. Sheikh Rashid, who took the lead in penultimate stage, holds on to complete the final 20-kilometer and win in a time of 6 hours, 4 minutes and 54 seconds. Moving on to the University City news from this week. What's on this week at the American University of Sharjah is just like every week. The AUS community practices and enjoys several events that aims for the students and AUS for several objectives. On the first day of this week, there are two events: time management workshop and a lecture by Terry Meyer Boak. The time management workshop basically covers the techniques for time management, such as organization, scheduling, and avoiding procrastination. Specifically, it will take place in the main building from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. However, the lecture that will take place in CAD at 5 p.m. is by Terry Meyer Boak, who is a full professor at the School of Architecture at the University of Waterloo in Canada. She has been teaching building construction, structures, environmental design, and film since 1986. The lecture focuses on some of the specialty topics covered in their books, including digrids, tension structures, curved steel, and castings. On Monday, The Startup Secrets is presented by two of the most influential icons in the business world, being Zayed Mazzouki and Tariq Qureshi. Their speech rolls out programs to create the best wave of entrepreneurs in Sharjah. Finally, AUS takes part in students' health as well. Accordingly, on Tuesday and Wednesday, there are 2 days to have free dental checkup for all students in the medical center. This happens in association with MDC, Muraqaba Dental Center, from a qualified dentist and dental hygienist. Now we have our reporter Fatma, who will take you to the AUS Club Fair happening.
On Monday and Tuesday, one of the students' favorite events is taking place in the Student Center from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., the Spring 2016 Club Fair. It features various cultural and interest-oriented student clubs and organizations, and provides an opportunity for students to register as members of these clubs. The two-day event familiarizes students with the extracurricular opportunities offered by the university. Therefore, it gives them an experience in which it helps them socialize better with different people.
According to AUS, this was one of the most successful events that occurs every semester. And now I'm reporting live from the Club Fair in AUS and in its final hours. This is Fatima Hamad reporting from the American University of Sharjah in the Club Fair 360 News. Thank you.
The secret startups. Two of the most influential icons in the business world, Zayed Mazzouki and Tariq Qureshi, talk about the secret startups to making $100 million from a standing start. Their speech rolls out programs to create the best wave of entrepreneurs in Sharjah. Zayed Mazzouki, top celebrated CFO and value creator in companies both large, Arab tech and small, winner of such awards as CFO of the Year, Most Admired CFO, most influential Arabs, and many more. Tariq Qureshi, MAD, entrepreneur with MAD Talks and 100% MAD. Top global media professional with Dow Jones, The Times, Sunday Times, newspaper, and Bloomberg Media. Thank you for watching. This is Rida Arjumand with the 360 News.